Ang susunod na programa ay rated PG. Patnubay at gabay ng magulang ay kailangan sa mga batang manonood.
Mindanao Network, right here, right now, as promised. Oras na para sa Mindanao Network Hour. Our Mindanao on IBC 13.
Catanduanes may be detached from the rest of the Bicol Peninsula, lying east of mainland Luzon. But it abounds with natural wonders that will astound travelers seeking exciting destinations. Rimmed by the roaring Pacific Ocean and stippled by rolling hills and verdant ridges, Catanduanes' 11 municipalities each harbors pieces of natural wonders. In Baras, a pair of promontories juts out into the sea, providing stunning sceneries. Binurong Point is a spread of jet-black rock carpeted by vast grassland. The rolling terrain in itself is magnificent, but the backdrop of ocean blue makes it even more breathtaking. Just a few minutes from Binurong is Balakay Point. This sprawling meadow affords a 360-degree vista of aquamarine coves, spines of mountains, and the islet known as Pulo. In the town of Bato, meanwhile, is the glittering Bato River, stretching from the town of Viga all the way to Cabugao Bay. The river, along with the historic Bato Church, is a picturesque site that irrigates nearby farmlands and serves as a fishing ground. Also in Bato, just a few kilometers from the main road, easily accessed via leisurely trek or motorcycle ride, is the Maribina Falls, perhaps the most popular of the province's waterfalls. Even the more urban capital, Virac, has its share of natural attractions. There's Igang Beach, more popularly known as Twin Rock Beach, with its shore of cream sands and its sprinkling of dramatic rock formations. With a rich and dynamic topography, it would come as no surprise that one of the leading industries in Catanduanes is agri and aquaculture. Pili nuts, dried fish, and other crops are plenty here. But of the many products that grow in the island, there is one crop that is intertwined with Catanduanes' identity. Abaca, a species of banana native to the Philippines, is abundant in the Happy Island. It grows here naturally and is cultivated for commercial use. The fiber from this plant, known as Manila hemp, is prized for its durability. Considered as the strongest of all natural fibers, abaca has a variety of uses, primarily because of its flexibility and resistance to saltwater damage. It is made into ropes for ship lines and fishing nets. It could also be made into bags, lamps, clothing, specialty papers, and even banknotes. In Catanduanes, abaca harvesting is done manually by farmers known as parahagot. The traditional process involves 3 steps. First, toksain, where the primary and secondary sheaths are separated from the trunks. Then, stripping, where the fibers are pulled apart using a makeshift contraption called saangan, and hanging of the fibers for sun drying. It's a labor-intensive process, but Catanduanes remains the leading producer of abaca fiber in the Philippines. And to give importance and tribute to this major industry, the province celebrates the Abaca Festival every last week of May.
The Abaca Festival was conceptualized in 2015. It is established by virtue of a provincial ordinance. The festival aims to give tribute or homage to the abaca farmers in Catanduanes. Abaca farming is the #1 industry in the whole province. We supply around 80% of the total abaca production in the entire Philippines. And to give tribute or importance to the backbone economy of the province, we organized this Abaca Festival. It started in 2016, and I think it's getting bigger and bigger and brighter. More and more government units are starting to support the concept of the festival.
A week-long fete, the Abaca Festival exhibits a variety of activities that highlights the industry of abaca farming. There's the trade fair where abaca handicrafts, as well as other local products, are showcased. Musical concerts, pageants, and a stage play called Teatro Abaca also take place. But the main event would always be the street parades. Participated in by the province's municipalities, the parade features floats that represent what each town is known for. Baras for surfing, Virak for flowers, Bagamanok for Ilihan Point, and so on. There's also the much-anticipated Santa Cruzan. The Santa Cruzan is a religious pageant that commemorates the finding of the true cross of Jesus Christ by Helena of Constantinople and Constantine the Great. In Catanduanes, government officials take part in this cavalcade, donning fabulous gowns and barongs made of abaca fiber. Of course, a festival would not be complete without the street dances. In the Abaca Festival, not just local performers took to the streets. Other troops from all over the Bicol region also join in on the festivities.
In the heart of Mindanao, farming goes beyond the fields. It's about sustainable practices, smart solutions, and turning farm to table into a lifestyle. Whether it's organic produce, eco-friendly resorts, or immersive farm experiences, Mindanao is where the land gives back. Join us on AgriCool Tours, only here on Mindanao Network. Women are rewriting the future, redefining leadership, innovation, and change. Her story does not merely end with triumph. It transpires to legacy, vision. This is Bayi, where women lead the way. Watch Bayi on Mindanao Network.
Start your day with creamy 8-in-1 coffee mix with malunggay leaves that brings you more than just a delicious cup of coffee. Packed with powerful superfood nutrients including malunggay leaves, Korean white ginseng, Agaricus blase murel, spirulina, and mangosteen extract. Enjoy the smooth, creamy taste with our non-dairy creamers sweetened naturally with stevia powder. And of course, the rich aromatic coffee powder that wakes you up and keeps you going. Each box contains 20 convenient sachets to suit your busy lifestyle, which you can drink now, later, again and again, and better yet, anywhere and anytime. Experience the amazing blend of taste and health with Creamy's 8-in-1 coffee mix with malunggay leaves. Creamy 8-in-1 coffee mix, more than just coffee. It's your daily wellness boost. What are you waiting for? Order now at amplestore.shop or simply scan the QR code.
Abaca Festival's third edition also coincided with Bicol's Festival of Festivals. The Festival of Festivals brings together some of the region's festival performers to partake in a dance competition. 5 contingents joined in on the festivities. Virac's Burak Festival, Caramoran's Sugbo Festival, Tapalonga Camarines Norte's Palong Festival, Santo Domingo Albay's Sarumbangi Festival, and Tiwi Albay's Coron Festival, which bagged the grand prize. Amidst all the merriment, one could easily spot minute details that remind everyone of the reason for the celebration. Government leaders and employees wear abaca hats. The buntings and stage decor are made of dried abaca sheets. Even the gowns of the festival queens are made of or adorned with abaca. Expectedly, the Abaca Festival is also where agriculture and tourism, 2 of Catanduanes' largest industries, converge.
Since Catanduanes is a farming community, fishing and farming are the major industry. There is what we call farm tourism. Could be connected to a farm tourism activity wherein a tourist could experience how to strip the real abaca from the raw abaca plant. Then from there, they could experience how to make the fiber, and then later on, how to make the finished products. Like for example, we have abaca sleepers, abaca bags, then the abaca handmade paper. There are 3 words that would sum up Catanduanes: nature, culture, and adventure. So if you're a tourist in the Happy Island, you could experience diving, you could experience hiking, you could also experience mountain trekking. Then for culture, we have several religious landmarks and other historical sites. Then of course, adventure, you have surfing. Actually, that's the #1 product in Catanduanes. Then we have several islets and islands which could be offered to our tourists. Then of course, being an island, we are rich in seafood. One of the famous delicacy in Catanduanes is what we call latik. It's made up of glutinous rice with coconut milk and a little bit of sugar. Our local producer combines it with a twist of malunggay extract to extend the shelf life of the latik. And then this is one of the most favorite, I think, of the tourists here in Catanduanes.
Catanduanes truly has something for everyone. It has it all. So to be enamored by this province is not uncommon at all. For every visit is bound to reveal a different aspect of its character. Indeed, this island does not skimp on sources of charm. It has incredible landscapes, unique gastronomy, fascinating culture, and an infectious sense of delight evident in its people. Its allure is truly effortless, strong like the abaca plant that grows bountifully here. But for a place nicknamed the Happy Island, what else could you expect?
Start your day with creamy 8-in-1 coffee mix with malunggay leaves that brings you more than just a delicious cup of coffee. Packed with powerful superfood nutrients including malunggay leaves, Korean white ginseng, agaricus blase murel, spirulina, and mangosteen extract. Enjoy the smooth, creamy taste with our non-dairy creamers sweetened naturally with stevia powder. And of course, the rich aromatic coffee powder that wakes you up and keeps you going. Each box contains 20 convenient sachets to suit your busy lifestyle, which you can drink now, later, again and again, and better yet, anywhere and anytime. Experience the amazing blend of taste and health with Creamy's 8-in-1 coffee mix with malunggay leaves. Creamy 8-in-1 coffee mix, more than just coffee. It's your daily wellness boost. What are you waiting for? Order now at amplestore.shop or simply scan the QR code.
History and drama. Where else would we be able to see the grandeur of the past than in the world brought to life by the magic of the silver screen? Among them, one era provides the most substantial contribution to how we've come to view South Korea's tradition and discover the world that inspired well-beloved Korean dramas like Daijangum and Dongyi.
The Joseon dynasty is one of the most influential dynasties to affect South Korea's culture today. But if reading them in a book is no longer your thing, there's a couple of places you can visit where you can experience that dynasty firsthand.
The Joseon dynasty was established in the late 14th century. It was during this period where much of modern-day Korean etiquette, cultural norms, and societal values were lifted. the most well-documented period in Korea's history. It provided a detailed picture of the past. Anything from traditional ceremonies to scientific discoveries, from manners and dress, to royal records and diplomatic affairs. It was a period that espoused cultural growth and a scholastic atmosphere. But arguably its strongest draw was its depiction of daily life. Volume after volume, stories based on their heavily stratified social hierarchy inspired sagas that would eventually grace Korean cinema. With a romanticized picture of the past, places like the Korean folk village in Gyeonggi-do thrive in the pomp and artistry of this golden age. The Korean folk village is a sprawling 243-acre living museum. Elements of traditional Korean life and culture during the Joseon dynasty are depicted here. An experiential interpretation of the Joseon dynasty, visitors can immerse themselves in South Korea's rich history. Opened in 1974, it remains one of the oldest operating amusement parks in the country and holds a place as a top tourist attraction. Less than 40 kilometers from Seoul, the South Korean capital, it's a multi-section park showing numerous replicas of traditional houses and community life. The Korean Folk Village is a popular filming location for Korean dramas as well. And how could it not be when the park aims not only to educate visitors about life during this bygone era, but magnifies its beauty amid trimmed gardens and lakeside views. Strewn throughout the grounds are craftsmen selling actual wares. Should you be interested in such novelties, these artisans not only provide you receipts, but accept international cards as well. Almost hourly, there is a cultural reenactment for visitors to enjoy. The favorite of many is the wedding ceremony. You have just been invited to a hongnae to witness the union of a nobleman's daughter and her groom. Held in the bride's home, a theatrical display unfolds. Together with timid, doe-eyed looks, a splattering of tears, piles of pageantry and symbolism, we are given a glimpse into one of the most essential components of a traditional romantic fairy tale. Presided over by a minister or community leader, the traditional hongnae is not simply a ceremony. It's often a product of an arranged marriage between families for an economic or social purpose. As was custom in Confucian weddings of that period, this would be the first time the bride and groom were to meet. With the groom on his horse, he takes his bride back to his home, and the procession moves on as our story comes to a close.
In the heart of Mindanao, farming goes beyond the fields. It's about sustainable practices, smart solutions, and turning farm to table into a lifestyle. Whether it's organic produce, eco-friendly resorts, or immersive farm experiences. Mindanao is where the land gives back. Join us on Agri-Cool Tours, only here on Mindanao Network. Women are rewriting the future, redefining leadership, innovation, and change. Her story does not merely end with triumph. It transpires to legacy, vision. This is Bayi, where women lead the way. Watch Bayi on Mindanao Network.
Start your day with creamy 8-in-1 coffee mix with malunggay leaves that brings you more than just a delicious cup of coffee. Packed with powerful superfood nutrients including malunggay leaves, Korean white ginseng, agaricus blase mural, spirulina, and mangosteen extract. Enjoy the smooth, creamy taste with our non-dairy creamers sweetened naturally with stevia powder. And of course, the rich aromatic coffee powder that wakes you up and keeps you going. Each box contains 20 convenient sachets to suit your busy lifestyle, which you can drink now, later, again and again, and better yet, anywhere and anytime. Experience the amazing blend of taste and health with Creamy's 8-in-1 coffee mix with malunggay leaves. Creamy 8-in-1 coffee mix, more than just coffee. It's your daily wellness boost. What are you waiting for? Order now at amplestore.shop or simply scan the QR code.
But they are not on the record.
In ancient Korea, a man's wealth is often measured by the number of gates within his home and the number of rooms to house his property. With 7,700 buildings, the Gyeongbokgung Palace at the heart of Seoul speaks volumes about the consolidated wealth of the Joseon dynasty. The Gyeongbokgung Palace is part of a broad system of royal residences within the 5 grand palaces in Seoul. The largest among the 5, it was at its height a city within a city. It housed not only the royal family, but the king's concubines, the court, their servants, government officials, and the prevailing nobility. Built as early as 1392, it was originally the residence of King Taejo, who established the Joseon dynasty. It was brought to the ground several times by internal power struggles and foreign invasions, the most significant of which was the Imjinwaran War against the Japanese that destroyed 90% of the Gyeongbokgung. The handful that remain are listed under Korean law as national treasures. Among them, the grandest is the Gyeongjang Hall, where it houses the royal throne room. Although not completely original, the location of this seat of power was used to hold special banquets and grant foreign envoys audience with the king. The Gyeonghaeru Pavilion is another hall used to hold important and special state banquets during the Joseon dynasty. Surrounded by a rectangular man-made lake, the royal pavilion is set upon 48 massive stone pillars. It was constructed with Confucian ideals on balance and harmony. But it is the Gwanghwamun Gate, or Southern Gate, that provides the lasting image of the Gyeongbokgung Palace. With a view of the royal throne room north of it, and the rest of the Gwanghwamun Public Square at its other end, it is a barrier between past and present. From the annals of the Joseon Dynasty, the world's longest comprehensive record of a single dynastic period, the Gyeongbokgung Palace drums up a dreamy picture of its past and the ever-evolving construction of the original 4.5 million square foot palatial compound. Today, there are only 36 buildings currently rebuilt at the Gyeongbokgung, but this does not deflate our imagination of its preceding immensity. The grounds of today's Gyeongbokgung are extensive and spare no cost in further embellishing it. Adjacent to the Gyeongbokgung is the National Folk Museum, a towering structure that exhibits over 98,000 artifacts. Another popular attraction for history buffs and drama fiends alike, out to enjoy this 2-for-1 experience. As guides chatter away about royal colors and strict traditions, adherence to prevailing Confucian beliefs, and the tricky bits about concubines and political controversies, it's no wonder why the Joseon period is a wellspring of exciting storylines.
Start your day with creamy 8-in-1 coffee mix with malunggay leaves that brings you more than just a delicious cup of coffee. Packed with powerful superfood nutrients including malunggay leaves, Korean white ginseng, agaricus blase mural, spirulina, and mangosteen extract. Enjoy the smooth, creamy taste with our non-dairy creamers sweetened naturally with stevia powder. And of course, the rich aromatic coffee powder that wakes you up and keeps you going. Each box contains 20 convenient sachets to suit your busy lifestyle, which you can drink now, later, again and again, and better yet, anywhere and anytime. Experience the amazing blend of taste and health with Creamy's 8-in-1 coffee mix with malunggay leaves. Creamy 8-in-1 coffee mix, more than just coffee. It's your daily wellness boost. What are you waiting for? Order now at amplestore.shop or simply scan the QR code.
In the heart of Mindanao, farming goes beyond the fields. It's about sustainable practices, smart solutions, and turning farm to table into a lifestyle. Whether it's organic produce, eco-friendly resorts, or immersive farm experiences, Mindanao is where the land gives back. Join us on AgriCool Tours, only here on Mindanao Network. Women are rewriting the future, redefining leadership, innovation, and change. Her story does not merely end with triumph. It transpires to legacy, vision. This is Bayi, where women lead the way. Watch Bayi on Mindanao Network.
Certainly, movies shot in historic settings lend a degree of authenticity to the cinematic work, making it easier for moviegoers to engross themselves in the fictional world. Even in pockets of historic sites like the Hwasong Fortress, where dramas like Daijangum and Dongyi have also been filmed, these historic sites create for us an atmosphere of realism you can enjoy with every visit. The Hwasong Fortress was built during the Joseon Dynasty. Today, it's the city center of Suwon City in the province of Gyeonggi. Enclosed within a 5.74-kilometer fortress wall, it represents the pinnacle of 18th century military architecture in Korea, earning it the honor of being a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Flanked by its 4 gates, it was equipped with turrets and artillery towers. Its battle-worn stone walls carefully trace the hilly terrain of the city, making it one of the most formidable architectural feats of its time. Today, the experience in Hwasong allows guests a ride through time on motorized palanquins that weave through the existing landmarks. A mixed scene of formidable ramparts against charming parks are all reminiscent of the time when Hwasong Fortress was not only a military compound, but a seat of provincial governance as well. Records show a detailed map of the Hwasong Fortress and chronicles the visits of many important figures, most notably King Cheongjo, the 22nd king of the Joseon Dynasty. Known today as the 8-day parade, his visits were intended as a pilgrimage in honor of his late father. In addition, extensive civil and military exams, as well as military exercises, were carried out to coincide with the visit at the Hwasong Fortress. In the 500-year rule of the Joseon Dynasty, the threat of war has always been imminent. The conflict that plagued the dynasty was brutal, and the stories written from it could rival any political thriller. So, during this period, much emphasis was placed on the development of martial arts, Korean weaponry, and the strengthening of their military prowess. As a welcome treat, guests may participate by trying their hand at gungsi, the Korean traditional bow, adding a personal insight into the surrounding imagery.
It is in the small things that we find true meaning to this existence. In the eyes of our loved ones and our neighbors, in the land that we dwell upon, in our daily deeds, and in everything encompassing our own personal world, there is goodness, there is peace. And it is in this quaint small town of Calubian, this would be an appropriate setting for such a blessed occasion. Considered as a fourth-class municipality in the province of Leyte, Calubian comprises of 53 barangays and a population of roughly 30,000 people. Majority of these barangays are located along the coastline, making fishing their principal source of income. Typical weather in Calubian is described as having no dry season with a pronounced maximum rain, specifically through the months of November to January. However, on this particular January day, rearing overcasts and ominous winds failed to dissipate the Calubian townsfolk's anticipation of what's about to visit their humble home. Saint Therese of Lisieux, widely known as the Little Flower of Jesus, has been the criterion to most Catholics due to the simplicity and practicality of her approach to the spiritual life. Overcoming countless obstacles from childhood on to her 9 precious years as a Carmelite religious, up to her final days. It was only after her death, through her memoirs, The Story of a Soul, Saint Therese made a lasting impact on modern Catholic existence. She bestowed the doctrine of the little way to constantly pursue little acts of goodness without approval, praise, or recognition. She was beatified in 1923 and canonized in 1925, 28 years after her death. In 1997, she was declared Doctor of the Church, an important title given to saints for their significant contribution to church teachings.
I started knowing Saint Therese when her relic in the year 2000, first time to visit the Philippines. And somebody had invited me, Colonel Cabos. He invited me to Carmelites in Cebu to follow the motorcade going to Mactan. Pagdating namin doon sa Mactan Air Base, kaming dalawa nagtulong sa pagbuhat. After that, lumipad ang aeroplano. After 3 days, I went back to Manila. Pagdating ko sa airport that time, there was somebody who gives me a thumb. I thought it was just an ordinary advertisement. Binabasa-basa ko ron, yun. Para man itong tungkol sa Saint Therese of the Child Jesus. And there was a miraculous invocation that says in a paragraph, I will fulfill your plea to be made known everywhere, and I will never stop to lead others to Jesus through you. Dumating lang sa punto na nagpa-print ako ng 20,000 copies of that pamphlets. At saka, parang gusto ko lang mamigay. Namigay ako kahit sino. And then, there was a time when Mayor Teddy Uwano had sent me to US to attend an international sisterhood convention because there are 500 cities all over the world attending. The thing was, naiwan ko yung brochure ng Mandawi. Ang dala ko, yung pamphlets ni Saint Therese. Yun, pinamigay ko yun doon. And then I went to a church. Bilal ako doon, and then binigay ko yung pastor. During his homily, in-announce niya na we have a visitor coming from the Philippines who brought us centuries.
Saint Therese's parents, Saint Louis Martin and Saint Maria Zélie Guérin, both longed for a life of divine service. Saint Louis Martin intended to become an Augustinian monk, while Saint Maria Zélie Guérin, a nun with the Sisters of Charity of Saint Vincent de Paul. But because of limited education and feeble health issues, both were rejected and compelled to a life outside the church. Or so it seemed. Their union graced them with 9 children, but only 5 daughters survived infancy. These very same daughters would all be consecrated to the service. Years after their deaths, the church recognized the holy intercessions of Saint Louis and Saint Zélie, healing 2 separate infant cases, Pietro Schiliro in 2002 and Carmen Perez Pons in 2008. That same year, the 2 were beatified by Cardinal Jose Saraiva Martins. In 2015, officiated by Pope Francis, Saint Louis and Saint Zélie became the very first canonized couple in church history.
Yung staff ko sa Cebu, and may pag-ibig siya na Malaysian, dinala ko sila dito. So sabi niya, ano bang gusto mo? Sabi ko, I need a mama and papa of centuries because they were blessed. Nagtanong yung Malaysian, si Mr. China, saan daw ako nagpagawa ng mga ganito? It was built by architect Vic Gulani, a sculptor and engineer. Siya yung nagawa dito sa mga Way of the Cross. Sabi ko, kayo na lang mag-usap sa sculptor. That was 2007. And now, we never thought that the mama and papa of centuries, Saint Louis and Saint Zélie, had been canonized as saints. When Bishop Bactol had told me, I think that was 6 months ago, that the relic of the mother and father of centuries will be coming to the Philippines, and that nagsuggest ang national shrine na one of its destination is the diocesan shrine of centuries.
Since their holy recognition by the Catholic Church, the remains of the Martin couple have visited to 32 archdioceses all over the globe. And it is here, in Calubian Leyte, that the holy relics received a heartfelt, festive Filipino greeting. Founded in 2000, the Saint Therese of the Child Jesus and the new way of the Cross Diocesan Shrine first began as a small chapel, which later grew and added a small pilgrim house for the devotees of Saint Therese, as well as the 14 stations of the new way of the cross positioned on the hillside facing the Biliran Strait. Each station features life-sized statues meticulously crafted by local artisans.
Nakita ko itong lugar na ito, the panoramic view which perform it's very, very nice. So I was thinking of putting up a very little chapel in honor of Saint Therese. I offered to the owners to buy it 5,000. Ayaw niyang ibinta because sabi niya, baka magagalit yung mga anak niya. I went back to Cebu and after 3 days, tumawag siya sa akin, totoo ba daw na tayuan ko ng chapel? I-donate daw nila. Basta tayo ng chapel. So, I was then challenged. Maybe it was St. Therese who guided us na she really wants this place. And then, nagkataon na nakita kami ni Bishop dito. He told me na you prepare next fiesta 2001. I will declare this as a diocesan shrine. A diocesan shrine is a center of devotion in Leyte. So I purchased some property here. I put up a way of the cross. Ito na yun, Calvary, commemorating the death of the passion of Christ here.
After another joyous celebration in honor of their visit, the holy remains of the Mahtan couple was transferred to the cathedral in Biliran, where it will again be venerated by devoted followers, and then transferred once more to its next destination. To the honest, hard-working people of Kalubian, though their modest little town was just one of the numerous places the holy relics of St. Louis Martin and St. Zélie Guérin have graced its presence, they know in their hearts that their lives were enriched, their souls nourished, and that their very existence is of great importance to this ever-growing world.
Start your day with creamy 8-in-1 coffee mix with malunggay leaves that brings you more than just a delicious cup of coffee. Packed with powerful superfood nutrients including malunggay leaves, Korean white ginseng, Agaricus blase murel, spirulina, and mangosteen extract. Enjoy the smooth, creamy taste with our non-dairy creamers sweetened naturally with stevia powder. And of course, the rich aromatic coffee powder that wakes you up and keeps you going. Each box contains 20 convenient sachets to suit your busy lifestyle, which you can drink now, later, again and again, and better yet, anywhere and anytime. Experience the amazing blend of taste and health with Creamy's 8-in-1 coffee mix with malunggay leaves. Creamy 8-in-1 coffee mix, more than just coffee. It's your daily wellness boost. What are you waiting for? Order now at amplestore.shop or simply scan the QR code.
At the top of northern Mindanao sits the small province of Camiguin, an island bursting with beauty and culture. Famous for its pristine beaches and historical volcanoes, Camiguin is also home to some of the sweetest lanzones in the world. Locally, the fruit is known as buahan, from the Visayan word bulahan, which means blessed. Every third week of October, when the lanzones fruit is in season, the community celebrates the Lanzones Festival. It is their way of thanksgiving for the abundance of the fruit throughout the island. The folklore behind the Lanzones fruit, much like many of the Filipino legends, come in several versions. One of them involves a boy who wandered off into the forest and ate poisonous berries. With the help of the fairies, the child was saved and the fruit became not only edible, but very sweet and tasty. The week-long festival holds activities such as Lanzones eating contest, product expos, and an eat-all-you-can buffet at the Lanzones Picking Garden. The highlight of the festival is the street dancing, where different groups tell a story of Camiguin and the Lanzones, using the steps of the Manobo tribe's ancient dances. Not only a show for spectators, they are also competing for best presentation. Going all around Camiguin, children and adults adorned in their costumes parade through the streets both harmoniously and competitively. When in Camiguin, one can bask under the sun and sea, or take shade under the tall trees and mountains. It is an ideal place for peace and quiet, but for a whole week in October, the province comes alive, loudly and proudly, showing the energy and the colors that come with celebrating the Lanzones Festival.
In the Philippines. It's more fun in the Philippines.
The Mindanao Network Hour. Our Mindanao on IBC 13.